Hi, I'm Matti, and today I'm gonna try to motivate you to collage. What I really enjoy about collage is that most of us already have everything required to do collage. It's quite of an expensive hobby, and there's also, I personally find that there's way less pressure on making collage than on drawing or sewing or knitting. I feel like collage is more this freedom and this flow that you can really turn your brain off and focus on something. Don't look at your phone. You can do it alone, you can do it with friends. I think I've always done collage here and there, but when I was living in France, I don't know how I found this activity. I think a friend of mine recommended me this activity, and this person was hosting a collage meetup. I think we were three strangers who booked this collage event, and it was so nice because it was on top of one of the mountains, so you had an amazing view. And it was just a table in the middle with a bunch of images, and we did not even have to talk because the whole point was to listen to podcasts and see if it would influence the way we collage. We all have different styles, but it was really interesting because like at the end of the podcast and at the end of that, I think 2 hours of collage, we all showed each other our collage, and most of us were like, this technique, I've never thought about it, or this and that. And at the end, they made a fanzine with it, which I have here. I still have it. I think this was, when was this? So this was in 2021. It was 5 years ago. And they sent me, I was not living in France anymore, so they sent it to me by the post. I'm not gonna show the ones that are not my collage. I had a different style also at that point. And they printed everything in black and white. I will also show them, because I have them scanned. So I will also show them with colors. But so this is the first one. This one I still to this day really am proud. This one. This one. And so they made a few of these editions. This one was the fourth one. And since then, I've really continued with collage. I had done collage as a child. I had done collage in architecture school. This was the first time that I was doing it for myself without anyone really guiding you or asking you to do it. Because as a child, like, your parents give you stuff and say like, okay, have fun with this. Or at school, you were also, like, it was a whole activity with the entire class. I continued with this hobby. I have a very minimalist minimalistic. I have a very minimalistic way of collaging. I don't put a lot, and I really like just to make sometimes just 2 or 3 elements. Sometimes I also go crazy. I will show you this book in 2 seconds. I really enjoy this hobby because knitting and sewing sometimes requires a lot of time and a lot of focus. The project will not be done in one day. However, this is a hobby that in less than 2 hours, you can also spend 10 minutes. I think 10 minutes is a bit short. But in an hour, you manage to do a lot. And so since I moved into this flat, I've hosted 3 or 4 collage evening with friends. Has been one of the highlights of this flat for me, because it's just a bunch of people. We put music, we talk a bit, but we also sometimes just stay in silence and are very focused on our collage. And I really enjoy seeing them sitting down and focusing on something. At the end, I always ask people to just showcase it, just to, like, either if they don't want to, they don't want to. but it's always nice to showcase it to everyone and explain what was your thought behind it. I haven't done one in a while. I think the last one was in spring. I really need to make another one. So if you're one of my friends and I keep telling you that I will invite you to collage evening, don't worry. It's not because you were not invited and I did it incognito. It's simply because I had the winter blues and I did not want a bunch of people in my flat. And so since last year I bought this little book and I put my collage in them now. Again, you don't need this book, you just need a piece of paper. I feel like the less things we have, the easier it is sometimes. Because the more stuff we buy and the more by the book we do a hobby, I feel like less creativity comes out of it. And so in this book, I'll show you my different collage. The first one took me a very long time. I tried to cut little pieces of paper of 2 images and merging them together. It took way too long and I'm not sure I like the outcome of it. Then this one, I simply just added a little shadow to the snake. This one I really enjoy. Again, it's very, very minimalistic. Again, this is a picture I took from a nature magazine. I really, really enjoyed the dots. And so I took this inspiration and I put it into another nice geo picture that I found. And yeah, and sometimes I make other collages that I absolutely hate. This one I do not like. This one again, I'm not such a fan. So these two I made in a collage evening, but it was a lot of people that I've never met before. And I think I was overwhelmed by meeting all these people and trying to socialize at the same time. In terms of what tools you need, you don't need anything. It's just nice to have them. If you have a pair of scissors at your house, amazing, good start. Glue stick, kind of nice if you want to keep your collage, but then again, I made collage that I only scanned them and I never glued them because I did not want to keep that collage. It was for a birthday card for my mom and my brother. I almost forgot. This is also very nice to have if you want to use with a cutter. And a ruler is also nice. So I've collected a bit of books through the year and a half that I've been living in Berlin. This is not all of them, there's still more. And I've already pre-cut a lot of the magazine because I did not have enough space. So I have my little collection already. Again, I've been doing this for a while. All of these were free on the streets. I don't like to pay for my magazine because I don't think I always feel it weird to pay for something than to destroy it. My opinion. I also just like that this hobby is not expensive. So my technique is simply to look at books and get inspired from them. I do sometimes like to look up inspiration on Pinterest or books or inspiration from anywhere. I'm originally from Montreal, born and raised until I was 22. I then moved to France to study for a year as an exchange student to finish my bachelor in architecture. Then moved to Munich with one of my close friends for 2 months to do research on PV panels. Then from Munich, moved to Rotterdam for 6 months to do an internship in architecture in a very small company. We were 2 interns and 1 boss. Then moved back to Montreal for a year to put money on the side before doing my master. And so for that year, I had 2 or 3 jobs. And then mid-August, I moved to Berlin to do my master. Took me a while to get used to the city. Also because I had a lot of problem with my visa. And I just always thought they would kick me out of the country. So I did not want to enjoy it because I was scared that if I would enjoy it and they would kick me out of the country, then I would be very sad. But now I have no more visa problem, for now. I also really enjoy using tape, any type of tape. I'm guessing it's also because it gives me the flexibility to change it afterwards. If I want to add something in between the layers, I can also do it with tape, and with glue it's more permanent. My thought is, on this side you see inside the train, but I would like to have like another perspective of, on the other side of the train, what do people see? I'm really unsure if I should continue or not. I really enjoy leaving blank space. And now if I add the second collage, then this whole second page is not a blank page. And it might sound very dumb. I think I might just remove the frame. I believe this video was a bit calmer than the other ones. I hope I did not speak as much as the other one, because I also really do enjoy just watching videos when they're very calm and not overstimulating. I hope this motivates you to do some collage. Again, you probably have everything already at home to make one. And just ask your roommates or your friends or just by yourself. Find a magazine and start a cut.